So, are we live already? No? So, I've just got the signal. We should be live. Hello, guys. Welcome to our second Q&A for the savedroid ICO. This is Matthias from Define.
Welcome.
And these are the guys who helped us develop our smart contract. My name is Yasin. I'm founder and CEO of savedroid. And we are very excited to host the second Q&A session. We already had one this afternoon with a quite lively discussion and also with community questions. And to facilitate this, let's just start with the most frequent questions which we have received over the last days, also to provide you with some answers about our ICO, about our token, and how the whole economics behind works. So one of the questions which we had is basically what is the process in order to buy a token. And here for buying the token, you can just easily sign up on the savedroid webpage. You go to ico.savedroid.com. You can register there, set up an account, and get whitelisted in order to receive the 30% pre-sale bonus. And it will be a step-by-step process guided, so it's very easy. You can then easily select, and this was actually a second question, how can I make payments, how can I purchase the savedroid token? You can either purchase it by using Bitcoin, Ethereum, also fiat via credit card and wire transfer. And in Germany and several European countries, you can also use Sofortüberweisung. So it makes it very convenient. This is already the first part of our value proposition, what we want to deliver. So having very easy access to cryptocurrencies for everyone who's not yet part of the community, so that it's as easy buying the savedroid token as online shopping. And therefore, Sofortüberweisung, at least within Europe, will be a great tool. Other way than that, Bitcoin, Ethereum, credit card payments, and bank transfer, how you can participate. Then what is the sales timeline was actually asked. When exactly does the sale start? Well, tomorrow the pre-sale will start at 3 p.m. CET, so Central European time, will then go live, and the pre-sale will then run by starting from tomorrow until the 26th of January. Then there's going to be a 2 weeks break, and starting from February 9th, we will start our main sale, which will then have a duration of 4 weeks and which will run until the 9th of March. The cap in tokens which you want to sell for the pre-sale is 5 million. The cap for the tokens you want to sell up to in the main sale is 55 million tokens, so in total 60 million. So to have a free float, and this was another question from the community, how big will the free float be of the token? 60%. Unsold tokens will be burned proportionally, so to guarantee the free float of exactly the 60%, then also after the closing of the ICO. Then one question which was coming up here in the challenge was actually, how does the KYC work, and is there a KYC, and how does it work? So basically, we have the first KYC level, everything below 850 euro, you can just buy the tokens right away. Then the second level starts from 850 euros and goes up to 8,500 euro, and here you just need to have a very easy photo which you need to take of your passport. So it's going to be a very hassle-free process, which you can then do inside our purchase process. So there should actually not be much barriers here, and this KYC limit is set per account. So basically, for one single account, you can buy savedroid tokens up to 850 euro without KYC, and then up until 8,500 euro per account by taking a photograph of your ID card and providing your email address, name, and telephone number.
Maybe one yes, exactly. So it's important that if you're above that limit of 850, you get whitelisted. Otherwise your transaction will be rejected. And to avoid that, make sure you either stay below that limit or you get whitelisted.
Exactly. And Then one more question which we had here was basically, so what exactly how to use the savedroid token in the future, right? So what's the purpose and what can you do with the savedroid token? And then basically here, the first purpose of the savedroid token is that once we introduce our crypto services inside our application, which are basically about easy access to crypto savings plans, and then also easy access to crypto investments in portfolio of coins, in derivatives, in ICOs at the later stage. You can have a look in our roadmap and check it out, that we will have a fee for these services. So there will be an in-app fee which you need to pay in order to consume these services, and this fee will be payable in savedroid token. So it's a utility token which you can use to pay the in-app fees for consuming our services. This is the purpose one. And then secondly, of course, our token will also be listed at a token exchange. So the savedroid token will be tradable, and you can always buy and sell the savedroid token at the token exchanges, which will list our token after the closing of our ICO. And that brings us to one more community question, which was there. For which exchanges are you aiming? So currently we are in the application process for different exchanges. The goal is here to have the different applications now basically sent out over the next couple of days. So we are expecting feedback from the first exchanges over the next weeks. And of course, we will update in a very timely manner the whole community, how we are proceeding there. Our goal is to have the savedroid token listed right after closing of the main sale. So beginning of March, once the main sale at 9th of March will be closed, to have the token listed very shortly thereafter. Then, of course, what you will need to do is to get a user account at the very exchange where the savedroid token will be listed, so that you can then trade the savedroid token on these exchanges. This will be key in order for the exchange trading. And then, as I see here, one other question which is just coming in. Marco, can you just let us know?
How did you determine the valuation of your ICO? Parameters behind the valuation?
Yeah. So the valuation of the ICO, so basically what will, if I understand the question correctly, what will determine the value of the savedroid token in the future? Is that correct? Okay. So if it's about the value of the savedroid token, what's important to understand here, it's a utility token which can be used for payments within the savedroid ecosystem. So that means that the more users we can bring on the platform, the higher the demand for a token will be. At the same time, how we have constructed our utility token, we have a built-in deflation mechanism, meaning that from the tokens which we collect for revenues, we will burn a certain percentage, meaning that the supply of tokens will decrease over time. And basically, this is interesting. If you're interested to learn more details, you should have a look at the blog of Vitalik Buterin. He is actually suggesting this kind of methodology in order to ensure a value enhancement of utility tokens. So burning part of this utility token in order to get to a reduced number of supply. So basically what will happen in the savedroid ecosystem, as long as we are able to grow the number of users, the demand will increase. At the same time, the higher the revenues which we are making on our ecosystem, the more tokens will be burned. So the lesser the supply. So we are in an ecosystem where we have an increasing demand and a decreasing supply, which should eventually result in an increasing price. Of course, what we have to mention is that if, say, for the development of the competition or for any reason we should not be able to drive user growth on our platform, of course also adverse price actions could happen. But nevertheless, as long as there is user growth, as long as there is high demand in our service, and we are going to reinvest a significant part of our ICO proceeds into marketing activities to boost the user growth on the platform, then there should be an increasing demand, and the higher the demand, the more tokens automatically will be burned and the lesser the supply. So this would then actually ensure the economics within the system of the savedroid token. I hope that this answered the question how the value is being determined of the savedroid token, basically on supply and demand. And this again will be predominantly driven by user growth of the savedroid platform, which we will steer through our marketing activities in the future. And I think we have more from the social media channels.
Yeah. Can I exchange my token with a Litecoin?
Can I exchange my token with Litecoin is the question. So initially, if you not so sure if the question refers to the purchase of the token or then later on basically to the usage of the token. So initially, if you want to purchase savedroid token, you can only use from the cryptocurrency world Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are the two cryptos accepted. So Litecoin cannot be used at this point in time in order to participate in the ICO and to purchase savedroid token. Nevertheless, and in case I'm just answering this in case I got the question wrong, in the future, once you are using savedroid and you are basically paying savedroid token in order to use the crypto saving or crypto investing, there definitely you will include Litecoin in the currencies you can save up with or you can invest in within the savedroid ecosystem. So there it will be possible. Within the ICO for purchasing the SVD, it will not be possible. I hope that this gives you a good answer to the question.
Your main competitors.
Yeah. The question is, how does the competitive landscape look like, and what kind of competitors are out there, and how I guess are differentiating to them, right? So if you look to basically the crypto world today out there, I think we have a lot of cool companies who provide good value propositions, especially within the crypto community. However, these offerings predominantly focus on a group of users which already hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others. And I think our offering will be completely different from this. In the first case, whom we are addressing with the savedroid use case, which we are going to launch in the mid of 2018, is really addressing the big crowd of users who have not yet used any cryptos. We are addressing the people who have just now learned, giving the increasing media attention, giving the increasing prices of the crypto world, that cryptocurrencies may be a good investment topic. And for these guys, we are simplifying the user interface, so to make it very easy to have an easy access to saving up and to investing into cryptocurrency. So therefore, I think this is one of the main differentiating factors. The target group we are addressing, our goal is predominantly addressing people who are not yet part of the crypto community, and thereby basically helping the crypto community to grow by adding new members, which are currently withheld from the barriers which are out there, that the complex of registering at the crypto exchange, from the process of then selecting a compatible wallet, from the process of then managing your private keys, are basically threatened and will actually not go through the whole adoption process to become a member of the cryptocurrency community. And what I see, and I don't know, maybe I guess, and hopefully also many of you guys have experienced this with friends you may have, which are not yet part of the community. I'm receiving WhatsApp messages being asked daily, I've now learned about Bitcoin, I've now learned about Ethereum, I want to invest, how should I do it? But then to all my friends, I'm telling, yeah, look, you should actually choose exchange, you should then select a wallet. Many of them try and they come back to me saying, too complex, I'm not making it. And I actually, at the end, many people have been very optimistic and very empathetic about joining the community, but then being frustrated because of this cumbersome process. And exactly that is where we come in to simplify that and to provide a good opportunity for everyone who is really interested to use the savedroid application, download it, connect it in Germany with the current account, internationally connect it with the credit card, and from there it's going to be very easy. You just select in which currency you want to save. We will then basically withdraw the funds account from your credit card. We will auto convert them into the cryptocurrency which you have selected. We will store them securely on the savedroid wallet. We will make them inter-exchangeable in the savedroid ecosystem with other users. So basically at the end, it's really like a crypto savings and investment plan, but without dealing with all the hassle of the crypto world. And I think this is what differentiates us from many competitors currently out there whose offering is for a much more advanced target group in the first place. So therefore, our case is really inclusion, simplification to the max, and we believe that this is a very valuable contribution to the whole crypto community, because we are adding new members which otherwise would probably not have joined the community. So now you could still argue, okay, other players like Revolt, for example, Revolt are now integrating crypto savings in their applications. Yes, for sure. Revolt is active in other markets than that side. The key offering is different. They also offer the typical payment services around. I think here our differentiating factor is that really a tool which enables you to have small amounts of money, and I'm now talking about a few cents, a few bucks, here and there on a regular basis being saved up and then being converted into cryptocurrency. So it's really barrier-free also in terms of the amount which is being invested. And we are not so much looking at one-time investors who have, like, say, 1,000 euros, 10,000 euros, who want to invest all the amount at once. And I think our advantage will be here as compared to other players, that by creating this ecosystem, we can then on our platform basically aggregate over all the users, and we can enable really round up savings in cryptocurrencies. And this will be a really breakthrough innovation in this market, because this will basically bring down the transaction cost, which at this point in time are at such a high level that you are basically not able to invest at low euro amounts or low dollar amounts into cryptocurrencies. And this we will solve by just aggregating over many users and by netting over many users, and thereby making it possible for people to really, with micro investments, go into these crypto coins. And I think this is really a value proposition which we don't have yet at the market. And the second point, obviously, if you just look to other ICOs, what differentiates us is that we are already a live and up and running company. So savedroid is now there for more than 2 years. We have now raised more than 3 million in equity capital. Just today, we have announced our latest equity financing round, where we raised additional more than 1 million from renowned equity investors. One of them is Alfred Schorno. He is actually a serial fintech investor. He is one of the managing directors who has built up 360T Group, which was recently acquired by Deutsche Börse for more than 700 million euros in purchase price. So this was one of the highest valued fintech exits worldwide ever. We have him now on board as our investor. He will also join our supervisory board. Then secondly, we have generated more than 200,000 downloads of our app already, have generated more than 10 million of savings transactions. Our app has a very good rating. We have more than 97% user recommendation rate there. So I think if you put that all together, there's already a lot of existing assets which we have. We have built up an AI technology which we can also apply to the crypto savings world, and that differentiates us from most other ICOs where you just have a PowerPoint idea and people are starting from scratch. Here you have a company with 2 years of track record, which can actually leverage existing assets.
Next one is, where do I find information about how to make payments for savedroid token?
So to make the payment eventually, the question was, where do you find the information for making the payment eventually for the savedroid token if I want to participate? Well, once you create your user account on ico.savedroid.com, you will then see that after the sign-up process, there will be a very easy checkout process where you can actually, in the first step, select the payment method which you want to choose. And then depending on the payment method which you select, you will get a step-by-step easy process where you will, if you, for example, select crypto payments, and you exceed the 850 euros, you need to get the whitelisting done first. And then basically what we will have is we will provide you with the address you need to make the payment up for. If you choose credit card, there will be a typical credit card payment form where you need to input all your data, and then this will be 3D secured in order to provide even higher level of security. If you choose wire transfer, you will see the bank details you need to make your wire transfer, your bank transfer up to. If you choose Sofortüberweisung, it will be the classically known process, as you guys already know from most European countries. So it's really like a checkout process. You can compare it to an online shopping. You basically shop the tokens, and once you then decide for the means of payments which you want to use, there will be very detailed instructions, and you will see how to make the payment, and then also at the end you will be prompted to enter your wallet address so that we can make sure that once the tokens are minted, then later on we basically assign the tokens to your wallet. And maybe here, if we already now touched this topic, Matthias, you can maybe also tell a bit more about the minting process, because this was also one question which we got in the community. How does the actual token distribution work at the end of the day?
Yes, so after the token sale period, your tokens will be minted, and depending on the payment method you choose, there will be different ways of how the number of tokens will be calculated for you. So if you just invest in fiat currency, there will be 1 token for each euro you invest. However, if you invest with Bitcoin or Ether, there will be an exchange rate applied to calculate the number of tokens you will receive. And we will take that exchange rate from Crypto Compare and use an average of 2 large crypto exchanges to calculate a price. And this price will be transparently also published to one of our smart contracts, so you can retrospectively check which is the correct FX rate that should apply to you. And that's how the minting works and how the number of tokens are calculated.
Good. Will the tokens which are allocated to management, investors, etc., be used by these individuals to buy savedroid services, or will they primarily sell the tokens on exchanges?
So the key question here was, how are the team tokens, investor tokens, which you can see in the total token distribution within the ICO, be predominantly used in the future? Well, firstly, what's important to say is that these tokens do have a very strict lockup period. So all the tokens which are in these buckets will be locked up over a total period of 5 years, and then there's a linear vesting. So every quarter, over 20 quarters, it will be basically 1/20th of these tokens being unlocked. So this will prevent that many of these tokens can be sold upfront. Then secondly, how are these tokens going to be distributed? Because this question is very important here. So if you look to the team tokens, what we will see is that the team tokens, basically, we will use as an incentive for our own employees in order to have the team with a long track record then in savedroid. So the idea is really here to have the team incentivized by distributing these tokens over a time. We will not distribute the tokens all at once, but only the tokens need to be earned by staying with savedroid over a reasonable period of time, and then thereby basically earning the savedroid tokens. So from the team tokens, the management tokens here, there cannot be any quick sell-off, because firstly, the tokens need to be earned over time, and secondly, there's a very strict lockup which needs to be respected. Then if it comes to the equity investors tokens, here again, the question is, firstly, they are lockup, and secondly, these tokens also need to be earned by the equity investors. So what is the prerequisite here is that equity investors can get additional tokens if they invest in additional equity. So that ensures also that not all the tokens are already distributed, only a very small proportion of these tokens will be distributed now upfront, and the other tokens will be held in custody for a next equity financing round, to create an upside for these investors to also invest further in equity of the company. So this ensures that, again, there cannot be a quick sell-off of the tokens which are distributed to early equity investors and future equity investors, because they need to be earned in order putting real money into savedroid equity first.
Maybe a technical remark, there will be a separate vesting contract that makes sure that the mechanics Yasin just explained are enforced on the blockchain, and the vested tokens will be minted into that contract and released in that stepwise manner.
Cool, thanks. Do you have any more questions from the community?
Some general ones.
Yes.
What are your assumptions concerning the potential total market cap of the whole crypto market in the future?
Oh, this is a tough one. So the general question here, what's our assumptions or future expectations, better to speak, of the total market cap of all the token markets. Very honestly, this is like looking in the glass ball, right? So I can honestly not tell you. Let me maybe answer the question a bit other way around. I think key discussion, right, what is currently going on is how sustainable is the whole market, and how do we expect to go to move forward. And I think what we can say, and this is really the perspective I'm sharing, is that we have now seen over the recent months, not only in coins but also in tokens, such a significant momentum. And this momentum has been reflected by international regulators picking up this topic in a very productive way. Productive by meaning not actually releasing regulations which will prohibit the technology, but rather working on regulations which will enable and facilitate the usage of this technology. And secondly, what we've seen is that also more and more real-life use cases are starting to come in. In Germany, for example, Lieferando, a service where you can order food for home delivery, now also accepts Bitcoin payments. And I think Amazon recently is now also openly discussing if they should accept cryptocurrencies for means of payment. And I think this already shows that here now more and more real-life use cases, how you can use cryptocurrencies in the real world, will be added. Then thirdly, if you look to the media, all the big media, journals, TV stations have been reporting about cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, but also Ethereum. And I think this also shows that the level of recognition of these cryptocurrencies in the overall community has risen significantly. And now latestly, all the big tech giants, Facebook, Apple, and so on, have also done communications on cryptocurrencies. Mark Zuckerberg released his note. And I think this, if you take it in total, shows that, if you ask me, we are at a point where we can say this is kind of a short time thing, which will basically disappear from the market. I honestly expect that if this trend continues now over the next month, there is a true potential for growing coins and tokens to a huge thing in our real economy. Nevertheless, I think what is required, and this is what savedroid is working on, we need to build very easy to use user interfaces in order to facilitate also the adoption by the broader mass market. And if this last piece will be chipped in, I think then we can really see exponential growth of the market cap, not only in coins, but also in tokens. So I really think that this is the next big thing, definitely, but it will take some time. How much this will mean in euro or in US dollars will be very hard to quantify. You will be surprised to see what the whole potential will be, but I think the whole potential is really huge.
Okay, and we have one more.
Yes,
do you have now a dev team that is experienced in blockchain?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you have a development team that is experienced with blockchain?
We have been implementing several blockchain solutions, smart contracts, and that experience we are applying now for the savedroid project.
Good. And will I be able to use your app even if I don't reside in Germany?
Yes. So the question was here, will the app be usable also internationally, not only within Germany? And the answer is definitely yes. So currently, the savedroid Live product which you're having today is only available in Germany. But the reason for this being is that currently savedroid works with a direct connect to a current account, to a checking account, so to speak, only. Nevertheless, once we now will start the crypto savings and crypto investing, we will enable that you can also connect to savedroid. And once this will be possible, we will release savedroid also internationally, meaning that there will be an English-speaking version of our application. And then you don't require a German bank account. You can use savedroid whenever you have an international credit card. You just connect your credit card, which you already have, with the savedroid application, and then you're ready to start. So it will be very easy. You don't need to open any new accounts with any banks or anything. It's not required. You already have to connect it to the savedroid application, and then savedroid will start working. At the beginning, these international apps will be in English language only, but then thereafter we will also upgrade for the bigger countries to local language. So then that means that the apps will then also be available, for example, in Japanese, for example, in in French, and so on and so on. So we'll add additional languages as we go. The start will be in English only, but then other languages for the bigger markets will follow very soon.
Okay, how long will the coin need to go to the moon?
Sorry?
How long will the coin need to go to the moon?
Okay, so one of the question, how long will the coin need to go to the moon? I mean, here again, in this respect, how fast can the price development be? I think it's very hard for us to comment on this one. What I can recommend for you guys is that if you have a look at our ICO landing page, so ICO.savedroid.com, you will right at the front page find a price simulation model, which you can download, right? And this is an Excel sheet where you can simulate the token price given different assumptions. It's very easy to use. You just download this Excel, and then there are a few levers which you can actually adjust. And by adjusting these assumptions, you will see how the token price changes in the future depending on the parameters which you select. So therefore, my recommendation would be, if you want to experience this by yourself and if you want to find out how the price development can be in the future, just please download this Excel, play around with the parameters and simulate for yourself. And then you can have a very easy understanding of the savedroid token may look in the future. I think this will answer your question best by discovering it on your own within the model which we have for free download at ico.savedroid.com.
Is this the app or protocol or platform? What kind of token is it?
Sorry, how do you exactly mean?
Is it a protocol token, a platform token, a distributed app token? What is it?
It's a utility token for the savedroid platform that's used for the services there for the savings features and so on. It's ERC20 standard on the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay, then we have a longer question. With Bitstamp, it was a super complicated process with approving where I live, copy of passport, yes, copy of the latest electricity bill, and so on. It was a nightmare. What's your process?
Yeah. So the question which we had here was basically one user experience with Bitstamp complaining about a very cumbersome onboarding process, setting up the account, getting the KYC done by actually providing photographs of utility bills and so on and so on. What's going to be our process? And here I think, and this is the good news, we can be much lighter on this one. So the process, how it shall work in the release of the savedroid app for cryptocurrencies will be that basically you install our app. Of course, there will be some basic KYC, but mostly it will be focused around providing your name, email address, telephone number. In certain instances, there might be also the requirement in order to take a photograph of your ID card. And then basically you can load the savedroid account using, if you're internationally domiciled, by connecting your credit card. And then once this setup process is done, I mean, just also to make the comparison how the current setup process works, if you want to connect your current account to savedroid and you want to start saving in old fiat in euro, as we offer currently, the whole setup currently takes roughly 1 minute. And within this 1 minute, you have done the KYC, you have done the account setup, and you're ready to go and ready to save. And this is exactly what we now want to transfer, this DNA of maximum simplification, and bring that to the crypto world. So meaning there will be a very light onboarding process, then you have the application, and then you can start saving. Now the process, and that's why we can simplify it so much, will be different at the back end. So here, there is not a trading platform where you will have real-time trading of cryptocurrencies, but at the end how it will work, and this is also how we can offer a much lower price by aggregating transactions, is that we will bundle the single transactions across users. Meaning that if at the end, say we have 100,000 of savedroid users, and of these 100,000 of savedroid users, if you want to buy, if you want to sell, what we can easily do is we can match that within our platform and basically have an aggregation and netting effect. And this aggregation and netting effect will help us that we can bring down cost significantly, that we can bring down the complexity of the KYC and the setup process completely. And this will make a much more simplified user experience, which is then easy to handle for all of our users. And then that's what differentiates us from, at the end, the classical setup which you are used to from a crypto exchange as of today. But therefore, it will not be a real-time trading, but rather a savings and a peer-to-peer transaction network at the end of the day, which happens within the savedroid ecosystem. But this provides all the advantages which I've just described. More questions? Yeah, at this point in time? No? So I see from a signal that there are no further questions at this point in time. Just checking here. What we can let you know before we close the session is that basically the pre-sale of the savedroid token will start tomorrow at 3 p.m. CET. We will host just before that at 1 p.m. CET our last Q&A session before the pre-sale goes live. So this is your chance if you just started listening to us now at the very end, or if you didn't have the opportunity also to join our first Q&A, which already happened this noon. Opportunity for you guys will be tomorrow 1 p.m. CET. Mark that in your calendars. In the meanwhile, use the time to sign up to get whitelisted in order to grab the 30% bonus of the pre-sale. This one will then start 3 p.m. CET this Friday. So we have already high demand for the pre-sale registrations and for the whitelisting. Use your opportunity there that you're ready to go once the pre-sale starts. Then the minimum cap which we have defined during this pre-sale are 500,000 tokens. And then for the discount of 30%, we're going to sell up to 5 million tokens. So if the 5 million tokens are sold, the pre-sale will end. This is the maximum limit. And then in the main sale, there's going to be no discount. So then we have the regular price of the token. So it will be worthwhile to register now for the pre-sale. This is basically the next steps until the sale will start. If you should have, and I just want to spread the word here, if you should have questions in the meanwhile, because we are now coming to the end, and you don't want to wait until then, please do join our Telegram channel. It's at Telegram, just savedroid. This is a group, so you're able to have your questions answered there. Just join the group. Post your questions. We will work 24/7 from now on so that you have the chance throughout all the night have your questions answered. So we have ensured that our team will be there for you in order to cope with the higher demand just before the pre-sale, and then also during the pre-sale. We will cover all the time zones. We're going to be there for you. Our team is really working hard to get the community engaged and the questions answered. So please feel free to join the Telegram channel. savedroid is the name. Otherwise, you can also use Twitter. You can use the hashtag savedroid ICO, and then your questions will be found very easily. And please also spread the word. We do have a bounty program live. You can basically have a referral. You will see once you create your pre-sale account, there's going to be the referral link. You can easily copy and share using your social networks, and you will then have a bounty of 5% of all your friends joining also our ICO. They will get 5%. You will get 5% bonus tokens, and you will see then the bonus tokens automatically being reflected in your savedroid balance within your login area. So this is a good chance to also grab some of our bounty. If you want to learn more about the bounty program, please have a look at our bitcointalk.org chat. There, the full bounty program is being stated. This is a good opportunity to spread the word and also to support our process, which we are really thankful for, because this is really a crowd project and we need your support. So therefore, thanks a lot for everybody already being part of the bounty program. Highly invited to more users joining the bounty program. And I'm looking forward to see you guys back tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our last Q&A before the start of the pre-sale, which will then be 3 p.m. CET tomorrow, this Friday, January 12th. Thanks a lot for your time and for being with us, and have your questions answered, hopefully in a good way, and looking forward to have you guys on board on the savedroid journey. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.